You know, every 4 years during the Winter Olympics, millions of us get completely drawn into a sport that seems, well, it seems both incredibly simple and totally bizarre at the same time. You've got the sweeping, the yelling, the giant stones just gliding across the ice. But what is really going on out there? Let's pull back the curtain on the ice and granite and find the elegant science and deep strategy that's hidden in plain sight.
At first glance, you might think it just looks like a giant frozen version of shuffleboard, right? But if you ask anyone who plays, they'll tell you something different. They'll say it's much more like chess. So, which one is it? A simple game of pushing things around, or a deep game of physical skill and mental warfare? To figure that out, we've got to start with the absolute basics.
To really get what this game is all about, you have to understand the three core elements that define every single moment of play: the ice, the granite, and of course, the target.
Okay, just think about the scale here for a second. We're talking about a 20 kilogram, that's about a 44-pound hunk of pure polished granite, and players have to slide it with incredible precision down a 45-meter sheet of ice. That's almost half the length of a football field. Just doing that is a huge challenge of both delicate touch and raw strength.
And this is what it's all about. This is where every single shot is aimed. It's called the house. You can just think of it as the bullseye. If your stone doesn't end up at least touching one of these rings, it's out. It can't score. Absolutely everything in curling, every strategy, every single sweep of the broom, it's all about getting your stones into the house and keeping your opponents out.
But here's the thing. Curling isn't a solo sport. Not at all. It's deeply collaborative, and maybe the most important strategic tool isn't a piece of equipment, it's a huge advantage they call the hammer.
See, each team has 4 players, and each one has a highly specialized role. You've got the lead, who throws first and sets the stage. Then the second comes in, often playing aggressive takeout shots to clear the other team's stones. The third, who's also the vice skip, is the strategist's right-hand person. And then you have the skip, the mastermind, the one who stands at the other end, reading the ice, calling every single shot, and throwing those final, often game-deciding stones. In this sport, teamwork is absolutely everything.
And this right here, this is the hammer. Having the very last stone in an end, which is kind of like an inning in baseball, is a massive, massive advantage. It's the final say. The team with the hammer gets to make the last move, whether that's scoring the winning point or just clearing the board. Having it or not having it dictates your entire strategy from the get-go.
So, we have the pieces, we have the players. How does this all turn into a game of chess? Well, it's all in the rules and the tactics they force you to create. This is where curling really goes from a simple game of aim to a true test of strategy.
Okay, this one rule is pretty much what turns curling from shuffleboard into chess. It's called the free guard zone. Basically, it means that for the first 4 stones thrown in an end, you can't just blast your opponent's rocks out of the way if they're sitting in front of the house. This one little rule stops the game from becoming a simple demolition derby and forces teams to build up these intricate defenses and plan really complex shots to navigate around everything.
And this shows you that tactical tug-of-war perfectly. If you've got the hammer, your goal is to score big. We're talking 2 or more points. And to do that, you want to keep the center of the house pretty open for your final game-winning shot. But if you don't have the hammer, your job is the complete opposite. You want to clog that center up with your stones, create total chaos, and force them to take just one lousy point. That way, you get the hammer back for the next end.
All right, now for the part everybody asks about, the intense, frantic sweeping. I know it looks a little strange, but it is a perfect blend of high-level physics and pure athleticism that can absolutely make or break a shot.
I mean, seriously, what is all that yelling and furious brushing really about? It looks so chaotic from a distance, but it's actually one of the most precise and physically demanding skills in the entire sport.
First things first, this is not just some casual dusting. During a hard 20-second sweep, an elite curler's heart rate can hit an average of 170 beats per minute. That's a full-on sprint. They're generating incredible force and speed to manipulate the path of that 44-pound stone. This is a serious workout.
For a long, long time, the common wisdom was that all this friction was literally melting the ice into a super thin layer of water, helping the stone kind of hydroplane along. It's a simple idea, and it makes sense, but it turns out it's wrong.
The real science is a little more subtle, and honestly a lot cooler. The ice sheet isn't perfectly flat. It's actually covered in these tiny frozen droplets called pebbles. What the intense friction from sweeping does is raise the temperature of these little pebbles by just a few degrees. It's not enough to create a river of water,
but it's just enough to dramatically reduce the friction between the stone and the ice. And the result? A well-swept stone can travel several meters farther and it will curl less, holding a much straighter line. It's a true art of control.
You know, beyond all the tactics and the science, there's something else. There's this unique culture right at the heart of the game. This isn't just a sport, it's a tradition, with a really deep history and a powerful code of honor.
Curling's roots go way back, over 500 years deep, starting on the frozen ponds and lochs of Scotland. It traveled with Scottish immigrants to Canada, where it basically became a national passion, and from there it made its way to the world stage, becoming a total fan favorite at the Winter Olympics. That long journey is baked right into the sport's identity.
And this is the core of it all. The spirit of curling isn't just a nice idea. It's an official part of the rulebook. It's a code of conduct that values sportsmanship, respect, and honorable play even more than winning. Players call their own fouls. It's totally normal to compliment an opponent's great shot. I mean, it's a level of integrity you just don't see in a lot of pro sports today.
So when you put it all together, you really see what curling is. It's this remarkable blend of chess-like strategy and genuine physical endurance. It's a sport where every single team member plays a vital role, where that crazy-looking sweeping is actually a precise science, and where a deep culture of honor defines the very soul of the game.
So the next time you're watching, and you see those stones glide and those sweepers hurry hard, you'll know. You'll know you're not just watching shuffleboard on ice. You're watching chess on ice. And it kind of leaves you with a question, doesn't it? Is there any other sport at the Olympics that hides so much beautiful complexity behind such an elegant and simple-looking facade?